Hi there, I am Fionuala, and mostly you can find me at Cottage Gardens of Petaluma. Right now I'm at Cottage Gardens of Petaluma in one of my favorite places of all, which is the vegetable garden. If you recall, 2 videos ago, we showed you the vegetable garden just about a week after we started it. And I wanted to share with you just how far it's come along. Here we are. Come on over, follow me. This is the tomato tunnel.
I can't even believe this is the same place.
I know. Can you remember it? It was in the dirt. They were down there, tiny little plants. And now look, we can snack on these things every day of the week. You can barely even see the arbors that we've got them growing on. And these guys are called vining tomatoes. They're not actually vining tomatoes, but we've trained them along here. They're indeterminate. They keep growing, keep producing the whole way up until the frost hits them. So they were the perfect choice for something like an obelisk or an arbor. These guys want to be 8 feet tall, so I chose the arbor.
I see them mixed in with some cucumbers over here.
Yep,
They can grow
absolutely. They can go together because cucumbers like a little bit of shade. And the tomatoes are shading them really nicely and keeping them cool as a cucumber in the garden. Yeah, this is my favorite cucumber. Look at this one. It's this really pretty white one, crispy and white and gorgeous. And I planted it with a red cherry tomato, Sakura, which is incredibly productive.
It's beautiful in here. It's like you're decorating with all these vegetables.
Exactly, that was the whole plan. I've got tomatoes, more tomatoes, cucumbers, sunflowers up here, and down here I've got a little tea garden. We've got pineapple sage, and we also have Agastache funiculum, which is anise hyssop. Absolutely amazing fragrance of anise, kind of licorice. It's just a great tea ingredient, absolutely fabulous. And then of course pineapple sage. Even without it blooming, it's amazing in tea. Gives you that really great little pineapple flavor when you steep it for a while.
I see some flowers over there that don't look edible, like the tithonias and the marigolds. Why do you have those?
Exactly. Those marigolds actually are edible, but they taste weird. They've got a weird taste, those petals, but they're fabulous for the pollinators. You know, it brings the pollinators into the garden, which increases the productivity of any of the plants that we plant here. So yeah, it is a paradise of vegetables in here and pollinator plants.
Yeah, and this is not a very big area, but you've managed to fit so much in here.
Exactly. You know, we measured it out and it's about 50 by 50, but I have crammed enough food in here to feed all my staff and any customers that swing by to snack on the tomatoes too. So we've got, I don't even know how many different species of vegetable plants, and basil and flowers and mustards and green beans and anything we feel like growing. We just pop it into some blank space.
Is it better to have more varieties of vegetables?
You know, it's really like what you want to grow and what you want to test. I really wanted to check out how far up and over these arbors the tomatoes would go. And so far, after 2 straight months, I don't think these arbors were even big enough. So that was a fun experiment for me. And just to see how much food you could get in such a small area, that's always fun. We've got an advantage in that we're all gardeners here and we started it all out with excellent soil, regular watering, regular monitoring, and a bunch of people who all care about this garden on a regular basis. So, but anybody can do it. I do it in my own garden. You can try it. And this is a place to come for inspiration and tomatoes if you feel like it, and just to see how big everything can get with some regular care, regular water, and starting it off with really good soil.
So anyone can come walk through this garden you have here?
Oh yeah, please do. I just want you to see how lovely it is and how good it feels to be in among all the pollinators and all this beautiful growth and all this beautiful food. It's a real food forest. It's actually what a food forest should be. just follow me in this way. I just wanted to show you how big corn can get. Come on in this way. You kind of need a human for perspective, but just look at this. Look at the corn and look at the sunflowers. Aren't they incredible?
What do you do with these sunflowers?
These sunflowers are here for pollinators again, but also for us to cut. We love to bring in cut flowers into the nursery. The other thing they're for is when the birds love the seeds, so we leave the seed heads up there and let the birds have them.
Keep them from pulling up all your other stuff.
Exactly, exactly, distract them from everything else. But we do have chickens here too at the nursery, and every now and again I'll pick a really nice big ripe seed head of a sunflower, and they are thrilled to bits.
And these peppers and basil are beautiful.
Oh yeah, come over and look at this. Look at this one. This is a Chinese 5-color. One of our favorites. Like, it is ornamental, but also incredibly tasty, super hot. But it's called Chinese 5-color because it's from China for a start. But also, you can have 5 different color peppers on this plant all at the one time, and that is a super cool sight.
Decide how to plant things together. There's a lot of discourse around companion planting.
There is.
A lot of different opinions out there.
There are a lot of different opinions. We do a try it and test it. Obviously, tomatoes and basil are going to go together. It is obvious. So that was an easy choice. Marigolds are also good because they protect your tomatoes and your basil from nematodes. Plus, they're pretty and they all grow at the same time, so I really like that. Peppers were a no-brainer. Obviously, everything's working out pretty well, so without doing too much study on it, and without getting too upset or caught up on what shouldn't be planted with the other one, we just made it work.
I love how you look at the garden as this place of experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it shouldn't be too stressful.
Exactly. That's what gardening should be. You should have fun in your own garden, and we definitely have fun here. It is all about experimenting because one year you might get it perfectly right. Everything is so amazing. You've done it all right. You've congratulated yourself that everything's perfect because you did it. But it is a combination of weather, soil, the bugs that particular year, the predators on the bugs that particular year. Some of it's luck, some of it's experience, a lot of it is experimentation. And that is something we have a ton of fun doing here at Cottage. So I created this garden with the help of all my staff so that everybody could experience some of this experimentation and be encouraged to go home and try their own.
I see some kale back here tucked away behind the corn. I don't think we've taken a look at it yet.
Exactly. You said it right. It is tucked away behind the corn because it likes the weather to be a little bit cooler than the corn does. So we're using the corn to shade our cooler weather crops. And as you can see, the kale is really, really happy. It's shaded from the corn and the sunflowers pretty much all hot afternoon, and it's really happy.
So that mustard's gone to seed. Are you going to be pulling it out soon?
I look at it and watch the bees on it. I like to bring the pollinators in. I know they're really happy. We're really conscious of pollinators around here, so I kind of weigh the odds. Once I see more seed heads on the mustard than flowers, that's when I pull it, and that's when the chickens get it.
So what could you put in that space this time of year, if you've got an empty space or if you're just starting your garden for the year?
What a great question. This is the middle of August, and the middle of August is a fabulous time to start your brassicas and your peas and onions. So if I find myself with a couple of square feet in here, we're going to start some cauliflowers and broccoli. And if there's spare space up against the trellises, we're going to be doing some peas.
I see some pumpkins back there right now. That's very exciting. We're going to see a pumpkin patch here?
There, that is our pumpkin patch. We're growing vertically because that's the space I've got. Yeah, so some of the pumpkins are going to be halfway up that fence and some are going to be on the ground, and it's going to be fun finding them. There's one more thing I just want to show you. An example of when you've got a little bit of bare ground, pop something new in. Come on over this way and let me show you. A couple of weeks back, I had some empty space right here, and it was still early enough to plant some bush beans. Maxi Bell bush beans are the tastiest little bush beans you are ever going to have. They're little French fillet beans. We had enough space to put in about a dozen plants, so we're really looking forward to them. And then over here, we harvested our first batch of lettuce from this trough right here. So it was time to plant a whole new batch. So just so you know, once you pull out something, refresh the soil a little bit, pop something new in. You can feed yourself pretty much all year around here in Sonoma County. We are so lucky with the weather.
We're in such a great area here.
It is such a great area. Yeah, it's just like we live in an idyllic area. May as well make use of it. Okay, we did talk about decorating with vegetables, and I just wanted to point out just how beautiful this particular eggplant is. Look at the gorgeous white blooms. The foliage is fuzzy and pretty. And then, on top of everything else, you get the most amazing little white eggplants. Can you see them? Look at those. This is called Japanese white egg, and it is just gorgeous. Just one more thing I wanted to point out. If you're short on space in a garden and you want to grow pumpkins, you can actually grow them on a fence, on a trellis, on an arbor like we've done here, and have a vertical garden of pumpkins, which is fun.
They're so cute.
Aren't they adorable and super productive? I mean, look how many pumpkins we're getting in this tiny, tiny space. We have, I think, 6, maybe 7 pumpkins in this tiny little space, and they're even growing in pots. So even on a balcony, you could grow your own pumpkin patch. So that's the vegetable garden. Don't forget, this is 2 short months since their first introduction to this garden, so make sure you come by and check it out. It's not done yet. There's a couple of months left of harvesting and enjoying and visiting the magic. So come visit. That would be the best thing ever. But if you've enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, and make sure you share it.
Thanks for bringing us along with you.
Oh, you're welcome. See you next time.